My name's Mark Davis. I'm an attorney specializing in music and entertainment law. I teach two classes here for the Music Industry Studies program. One is copyright and music business, contracts, publishing. The other one is legal issues in the music business. I've been involved in the music industry for 18, 19, 20 years. My law firm represented people in all aspects: songwriters, performers, musicians, managers, music publishing companies, record labels, everything. We've done it all. So that's my background, a little bit of everything. Years ago, I started off as just specializing in personal injury. Then I got out of that and started representing small businesses. So it really seemed to me that after looking at that, a lot of the small businesses that I represented had something to do with entertainment, sound and light companies, recording studios, things like that. So at that point, that was about 1985, there was no one else in town except one other attorney that was doing music and entertainment law, and I saw an opportunity, and that's what I specialized in since then. Every time there's an issue in copyright, like infringement or licensing or things like that, I try to go back and find examples, some of which I've dealt with: licenses, sync licenses, mechanical licenses, and use those as examples of how a deal is done, how the rights are exploited to gain money for the songwriter and the publisher. And that's what I try to do. Some of it is war stories, some of it is gee, this could happen to you. You can write a hit song and you could get a check for it. Whether or not you specialize in music business, you really have to have the ability to convert your creativity into something that will gain you an income. That's a very tough thing to do, partially because the creative part of the brain isn't always integrated with the financial part of the brain, but you need both if that's going to be your career. New Orleans music industry, for as long as I've been involved, which is about 20 years, has been steadily growing. There are a lot of people that have quit their day jobs. They don't have day jobs. They do something in the music business. Through the advent of technology and such sophisticated modern techniques of recording and everything else, you don't need to go to Los Angeles, New York, Nashville to do your recording. If you're good enough to work with one of these computers, you could be anywhere. And New Orleans has always had a history of great live music. It's just a cultural tradition. Loyola has always had a great college of music, and it's a perfect match for both. I tell you, all the students that get out of my class know what their rights are under copyright. I make absolutely sure they know that, and essentially, if you know that, you're ahead of 75% of the other people in the game. Using the knowledge that comes through these programs, that stays with you forever. And that's what you're building on, so you just don't blindly sign some contract because someone says, oh, it's the standard contract, sign here. You go, well, no. What about my copyrights? How does this affect me? I have rights here. And you get to avoid making that first mistake. I think a real problem is that people put a lot of effort into their original product. They record a great CD, they do a lot of things, and then when it's finished, they assume that automatically all they have to do is say, oh, here, I've done it, and they're going to sell 1 million units. Well, it doesn't work that way. Having the better mousetrap is a great thing, but the world will not beat a path to your door unless you know how to market it, how to get it out there, how to do your contracts and distribution deals and everything else. So having a great product is one thing, but the whole essence of the music business is changing that product into cash. There have been several of my students have gone on to law school and are studying law in general with an idea of going into entertainment law. I think entertainment law is a great thing. It's a subset, though. So before you even think about being an entertainment attorney, you have to go through law school and really understand what it's like to be an attorney. You have to learn about contracts, you have to learn about corporations, income tax, all these other things, because musicians or songwriters or record labels or managers or concert promoters, these are all mini conglomerates. They're tiny little businesses, and every one of them has the same sort of contract problems that a multinational corporation has. You still have contracts, you have your copyrights that you have to exploit, you have to protect your trademarks, you have all these other issues of tax and everything else that you really have to learn about in law school. Then you get to be the entertainment law specialist and focus on that. I think the biggest thing that I try to get across in my class on copyrights and music publishing and legal issues are to look at the specific incident, the specific thing that we're talking about against the backdrop of the whole big industry. The principles of copyright apply even to bad songs. So it doesn't matter if the song's good or bad, you still have your Section 106 rights. The idea is if you're going into a situation and you know your rights, the rights that you have under copyright law apply no matter what. And they apply across everything you do, across the entire spectrum. So understanding the relationship that this one song has against all your possible streams of income, all the rights and subsidiary rights and derivative rights that you have is really what I try to get across. And like I said, it's the same thing no matter what the tune is. The whole point of what I try to teach is the business part of the music business. One thing that I just want to caution everybody, let the lawyers do the law stuff and then the musicians can do the music stuff. But it's good to know what it's all about, because ultimately the lawyer's job is to serve the best interests of the client. So the client really has to be a bit more sophisticated and understand how their career is going to progress and how this contract or this concert appearance or this management contract or this publishing contract would ultimately fit into their career. Remember, an artist only has one career. So everything else has to feed into that and be building blocks that lead to the ultimate goal.